At this time, I would like to share the eulogy, which was eloquently written by his daughter, Lynn. We are here today to honor and celebrate the life of Harry Couture Rollins. Harry was born on March 1st, 1924, to Harry Arthur and Ruth Couture Rollins. He was to be their only child. Harry left our world on December 10th, 2015. He was 91 and a half years old and lived a full, happy, productive, adventurous life. He is survived by his daughter, Lynn Sherry Rollins, his granddaughter, Kimberly Ann Kasai, and his great-granddaughter, Isabella Sol Eckel. They will all miss his presence dearly. Harry was meticulous. He saved every report card from the earliest beginnings in Freeport, Long Island, New York, to his graduation from Harvard in 1944. He also saved all of the glowing reports from his teachers regarding his perfect attendance and commitment to learning. It was wartime. Between his parents working very hard, along with his good grades, he was accepted to Harvard, where he graduated in 2 years with a degree in geology. Upon graduating, he immediately entered into the ROTC. He was first commissioned to the USS Diden as an ensign in submarine command. Fortunately, he never had to leave the United States. He retired 20 years later as a commander. Following the war, Harry was hired by Ernest and Julio Gallo as a West Coast sales representative. He loved this job and traveled the 11 western states. In 1949, he was 24 and he met Anne Sol Seeley. They were married 3 months later on September 3rd, 1949. Ernest Gallo was so surprised by the announcement of Harry's impending marriage, he wrote to Harry, and at the conclusion of the service, the letter is on display on the side table if anyone would like to read it. It is very, very nice and very appropriate. And in Harry's only child, Lynn Sherry, was born in 1951. It was decided that he needed to stay close to home, so he quit his job at Gallo and was quickly hired by the Douglas Aircraft in the personnel department in Santa Monica, California. He loved this job as well, and it was the beginning of a very long career. He decided if he was going to represent the company in negotiations with the labor unions, he needed to know who he was representing and who worked for the company. He set out to meet every single employee of Douglas to know why they were and what they needed and wanted from their company employment. In 1962, based on the recommendations of mutual friends, Ray Kroc and his wife, Janie, went to the family home in Encino, California, and offered Harry the vice presidency of McDonald's. Harry asked what Ray's vision was and the work involved. Harry asked to have a couple of days to discuss it with his wife, Anne. 3 days later, Harry called Ray and said he was grateful and flattered by his offer, but felt the impact on his small family would be too great with the travel and heavy work schedule, so he declined. Harry retired from McDonnell Douglas in 1984 as the Director of Employee Relations. He made many friends there are some who are with us here today. He was a man who loved to learn. In 1948, he was certified to fly small aircraft. In years following, he studied radio repair, TV repair, auto mechanics, photography. His self-portrait is here on the table. In his 70s, he learned to speak Spanish. In his 80s, he was lecturing on World War II about the war and submarines in local high schools of Orange County. At 89, he took a course for how seniors could contribute to the safety of others during disaster. He always wanted to serve humanity. After retiring from McDonnell Douglas, he joined Fountain Valley RSVP, Retired Seniors Volunteer Police, and the Fountain Valley Planning Commission, where he served for several years. In 1975, he was blessed with his only grandchild, Kimberly Ann Kasai. She was the apple of his eye. She grew up in his lap, and they spent many happy weekends feeding the ducks at Miles Square Park, amongst other adventures. Harry was a softie. When Lynn was going through his personal belongings and mementos, she found a box. The box contained every report card and class photo for both she and Kimberly. Also, every card given to him or Anne for every birthday, Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, and Father's Day. There were also 16 photos of the cats they had during those years. He obviously considered the family and not to be forgotten. Harry traveled the world and has photo albums dated and cataloged from 4 continents. He survived 2 wives, Anne Sol Seeley, of 53 years, Lynn's mother, Kimberly Ann's grandmother, and Isabella, Sol's great-grandmother. We are all sad that he didn't get to spend more time with Isabella. And June Adams of 11 years. It was after June's passing that he moved to Vivante on September 22nd, 2014. Harry loved living here, and between the staff and new friends, they brought him back to life. He always loved a social life and enjoyed every moment of that here at Vivante. Thank you all very, very much. While listening to many comments from his friends and acquaintances, the first word that came up was gentleman. Harry was a true gentleman. He was always kind, generous, optimistic, and had a great sense of humor. He wanted to make someone's day better. He didn't speak much, but when he did, it was always of value and optimism. Whenever he was greeted or asked how he was, he would answer, "Tan-fastic." His signature toast over the past 70 years was "Na schmaz kapap." No one knew what it meant. He got it from an early radio show. It always gave rise to the conversation. And when we go to the crow's nest, I think that we should absolutely give that toast. Na schmaz kapap. It was here at Vivante that he met Anne Schremek, the love of his life. They spent 9 incredible months together and became teenagers all over again. He was never happier, and his family couldn't be more grateful for Anne and her beautiful family. Harry was a man of honor, integrity, and loved to have a great time. He left this world the same way he lived it, on his own terms. The greatest tribute to his life is that everybody wanted a little piece of Harry. We salute you, revere you, love you, and will forever miss you. At this time, if I may please call upon a longtime friend of Harry and Ann's, Jeannie O'Keefe, if you will please come forward.
Hi, everyone. I think just almost every word that I used in my little notes here have already been used in this lovely eulogy. I'm Jeannie O'Keefe. My husband and I, Doug, bought the house that Ann and Harry owned in Fountain Valley, their first home. And can you hear me? Okay. And we made an immediate connection when we went to look at the house. We just fell in love with each other, and I think the fact that they had many offers on the home because it was a beautiful home, and Harry wouldn't budge on the price. He absolutely no negotiation whatsoever. They had many offers, and he